Hello everyone, I am Mrs. Ashwini Oak, a physics teacher from Ferguson College, Pune. We had started the phenomenon of diffraction of light in our last lecture. We will continue the same topic in this lecture. Let us see the topic with the help of PowerPoint presentation. We had discussed two types of diffraction in the last lecture, Fraunhofer diffraction and Fresnel diffraction. Now let us see the experimental setup of Fraunhofer diffraction. The experimental setup consists of monochromatic source of light S, which is kept at the focus of cylindrical lens. The diverging rays from source S are incident on the cylindrical lens and the emerging rays are parallel rays, resulting in the plane wavefront y dash. This plane wavefront y dash is made to incident on a single slit AB. O is the center of the slit. As soon as the wavefront y dash is incident on the slit AB, every slit element, this slit AB is imagined to be divided into number of thin slits, which are also called as soon as the plane wavefront y dash is incident on the slit AB, every point of slit AB or every slit elements acts as the secondary source of light, and all the sources emit the cylindrical wavelets in all directions. These cylindrical wavelets interfere with each other, which results in producing the diffraction in all directions. The cylindrical lens or the converging lens Mn, which is placed next to the slit, converges the beam onto the screen. The screen is placed at the focus of the second converging lens. The distance between the slit and the screen is capital D, which is practically equal to the focal length of the lens. The width of the slit is very small, of the order of 0.1 to 1 millimeter, and the distance between the slit and the screen is very large, of the order of 10 meter. So we can say here D is very large compared to the width of the slit. Width of the slit is also denoted by small a. Now when all the slit elements emit cylindrical wavelets, they interfere with each other and we get the diffraction pattern obtained on the screen. We consider point P0 on the screen, which is directly in front of point O, where O is the center of the slit. All the waves emitted by different slit elements, they cover the same optical path to reach point P0 on the screen, and therefore the waves or the rays have no path difference, or they have no phase difference between them when they arrive at point P0 on the screen. So all the waves reaching point P0 are in phase with each other, and therefore they produce constructive interference at point P0, or point P0 is the bright point, or there is bright fringe observed around point P0. This is also called as the central maximum of diffraction pattern. So we have seen the location of central maximum at point P0 on the screen. Let us obtain the locations of different bright and dark fringes on the screen, or let us see the locations of different maxima and minima obtained in the diffraction pattern. So we will continue with the same experimental setup, but here we have taken the cross section of experimental setup where AB is the slit width AB is small a. the rays from monochromatic source of light when incident on slit AB, every slit element acts as secondary source of light, and the elements start emitting the light waves which interfere with each other and produce the diffraction pattern on the screen. The screen is at distance capital D from the slit. We have seen the condition for P naught, which is the central maximum or central bright point obtained on the screen. Now let us consider point P on the screen. When we consider different rays or different waves originated from different slit elements of AB, when they arrive at point P, they cover different optical paths, or they have different optical paths when they reach point P on the screen. And therefore, there exists a path difference or the phase difference between the waves when they arrive at point P. This point P is at angular position theta. Now, to obtain the path difference between different waves which arrive at point P, we draw perpendicular from point A on all the rays originated from different points of AB. So AC is the perpendicular drawn to all the rays. Now, when we consider different rays from different slit elements, they have equal optical paths from points A to C till point P. And the path difference or the phase difference arises due to the part between AB and AC. So, due to this part of the rays, there exists a path difference or the phase difference between the rays which arrive at point P. Now let us obtain the path difference between the rays which arrive at point P. So, if we consider the extreme rays from point A and point B which arrive at point P, then this BC part is the path difference between the extreme rays. That means if we consider the rays as AP and BP, these two extreme rays have the path difference which is equal to BC. Now let us obtain the path difference BC, or let us find the expression for path difference BC. Now, as P is at angular position theta, by geometry, angle BAC is also equal to theta. So, in triangle ABC, sine theta is equal to the opposite side upon hypotenuse. So, opposite side is BC, hypotenuse is AB. So, sine theta is equal to BC upon AB. The width of the slit is small a, and therefore sine theta becomes equal to BC upon small a. So BC is equal to A sine theta. That means the path difference between the extreme rays AP and BP is A sine theta when these two rays arrive at point P on the screen. Now we assume that this path difference BC between the extreme rays is equal to lambda. So at point P, the path difference between the extreme rays, which is BC, is equal to lambda. We have assumed this. Now, if K is the midpoint of AC, then OK is half of BC. As BC is equal to lambda, OK is equal to lambda by 2. Now, we consider a pair of 2 points, point A and O. When the rays from point A and O reach point P on the screen, these two rays have the path difference which is equal to OK, or that is equal to lambda by 2 when they reach point P on the screen. These 2 points A and O are separated by distance A by 2. So these 2 points A and O, when emit light waves, they have the path difference equal to lambda by 2 at point P. Now we consider another pair of points, point O and point B. They are also separated by distance A by 2. And if we consider the rays or the waves originated from these 2 points, they will also have the path difference which is equal to lambda by 2 when they arrive at point P on the screen. Because OK is half of BC and BC is lambda, so OK, the difference between them is lambda by 2. So the path difference between these 2 rays OP and BP is also lambda by 2 when they reach point P on the screen. Similarly, we consider other 2 points, point G and point H, which are equidistant from point A and O respectively. As they are equidistant from A and O, the points G and H are also separated by distance A by 2. And therefore, when they emit the waves will have the path difference equal to lambda by 2 when they reach point P on the screen. That means every point in the upper half of the slit has the corresponding point in the lower half of the slit. The rays from these points, when arrive at point P, they will have the path difference which is equal to lambda by 2. So the path difference between any 2 rays between AO and BO reaching point P is lambda by 2, and we have studied the condition in interference pattern that when the path difference between the 2 waves is lambda by 2, then the waves interfere destructively, and therefore at point P all the waves reaching from the different slit elements, they interfere destructively, or there is the dark point obtained at point P, or the surrounding region of point P is the dark region, or dark fringe is seen around point P. And this is the first dark point obtained on the screen after the central bright point. And therefore, point P is called as the first minimum. So we have seen the condition for the dark point which is at point P. So the first condition for obtaining first dark point is the path difference between the extreme rays should be equal to lambda. Now let us obtain the positions of other bright and dark fringes on the screen. We have taken the same experimental diagram and we have obtained the condition for path difference at point P. So point P is the first minimum or the first dark point of the diffraction pattern. Now for other dark points or other minima, what are the conditions? The path difference between the extreme rays for the location of minima is equal to either lambda or 2 lambda or 3 lambda and so on. So when the path difference is lambda, we get the point P as the dark point. Now we take the second case where the path difference between the extreme rays is 2 lambda. Now when the path difference is lambda, we imagine that the slit is divided into 2 equal parts, each of width a by 2. Here, when path difference is 2 lambda, we assume that the slit is divided into 4 equal parts, each of width a by 4. And therefore, in these 4 equal parts, the path difference 2 lambda also get divided as lambda by 2 in the first part, lambda in the second part, 3 lambda by 2 in the third part, and 2 lambda in the fourth part. So, we consider different rays originated from different points of the slit. When they arrive a certain point on the screen, they have the path difference which is equal to lambda by 2. If we take the extreme rays from the first part, When they reach point on the screen, they will have the path difference which is equal to lambda by 2. When we consider the second part, the extreme rays from second part, when they arrive at the same point on the screen, they will have the path difference which is equal to lambda by 2. And similar case happens in the other two parts. So all the extreme rays from different parts will have the path difference which is equal to lambda by 2 when they arrive certain point on the screen, and therefore they interfere destructively at that point, and therefore the point obtained on the screen is the dark point or dark fringe is seen in the surrounding region of the point. So when the path difference between the extreme rays, now we consider the extreme rays, the ray from point A and the ray from point B. These are the extreme rays. The path difference between these two rays is 2 lambda, and therefore the point obtained on the screen is the dark point, or the intensity is minimum at that point, and that is the second dark point from the central bright point, or it is called as second minimum of diffraction pattern. Similarly, if the path difference between the two extreme rays is 3 lambda, we get the third dark point from the central bright point. Here we imagine that the slit is divided into 6 equal parts, and also this path difference 3 lambda gets equally divided into 6 equal parts. So these rays interfere destructively, and the point obtained on the screen is the dark point, which is the third dark point or third minimum of diffraction pattern. So in general, for the location of minima, the path difference between the extreme rays, which is equal to a sine theta, should be equal to n lambda, where n is plus minus 1, plus minus 2, and so on. Here again, plus minus 1 or plus minus sign indicates that the fringes are lying on both the sides of central maximum. So when n is equal to 1, we get a sine theta is equal to lambda, and that will be the first dark point in the diffraction pattern on both sides of central maximum. When n is equal to 2, we get a sine theta is equal to 2 lambda. So the second dark point or second minimum is obtained in the diffraction pattern. Now these are the conditions for location of minima. Now let us see the conditions for the location of maxima. Maxima are located in between respective minima, and therefore for the location of maxima, the path difference between the extreme rays should be either equal to 3 lambda by 2 or 5 lambda by 2 or 7 lambda by 2 and so on. Now we consider the first case where the path difference is 3 lambda by 2. When the path difference is 3 lambda by 2, we imagine that the slit is divided into 3 equal parts, each of width a by 3. Similarly, the path difference 3 lambda by 2 also gets divided equally, as for the first part, the path difference is lambda by 2, the second part it is lambda, and the third part is 3 lambda by 2. So when we consider the extreme rays from the first two parts, that is from point A and point L, when they arrive certain point on the screen, they will have the path difference which is equal to lambda between them at that point. And if the path difference between these two extreme rays is a lambda, then they produce destructive interference at that point. But the waves in the third part interfere with each other to obtain the bright point at the same point. That means the waves from the third part interfere with each other, and they are responsible for the constructive interference at the same point. And therefore, the constructive interference takes place because of the interference between the third part of the waves. So, the point obtained on the screen will be the bright point, or the intensity at that point is maximum. But as only 1/3 part of the slit is contributing for the constructive interference at that point, the intensity of that bright fringe is less than the intensity of the central maximum. So this is the first condition to get the location of maximum, where the path difference is 3 lambda by 2. When we consider the path difference between the extreme rays as 5 lambda by 2, then we imagine that the slit is divided into 5 equal parts, each of width is a by 5. And when we consider the different rays originated from different points of the slit, as the slit is divided into 5 equal parts, this 5 lambda by 2 also gets divided as, in the first part, lambda by 2, second part lambda, third part 3 lambda by 2, fourth part 2 lambda, and the fifth part is 5 lambda by 2. So again, for the first 4 parts, the waves interfere with each other and they produce destructive interference at the point on the screen. But the constructive interference is due to only the 1/5 part of the slit. The waves from this 1/5 part interfere with each other and they produce constructive interference at the same point on the screen. And therefore, the point obtained on the screen is the bright point, but as only 1/5 part of the slit is contributing for the constructive interference, the intensity of that bright point is again less than the intensity of the first bright point obtained in the diffraction pattern. So, as we go away from the central maximum, the intensity of all bright fringes go on decreasing. Similarly, the path difference between the extreme rays is 7 lambda by 2. We get the next bright point or next bright fringe in the diffraction pattern. So in general, for the location of maxima, the path difference between the extreme rays, which is equal to a sine theta, should be equal to n plus half into lambda, where n takes the values plus minus 1, plus minus 2 and so on. Again, plus minus sign indicates that the fringes are lying on both the sides of central maximum, and when n is equal to 1, we get the first condition of path difference. So path difference between the extreme rays will be 3 lambda by 2 and we will get the first bright fringe after the central bright fringe. Then when n is equal to 2, we get the path difference as 5 lambda by 2 and that will be the second bright fringe or second maximum from the central maximum. So this is how we get the conditions for locations of maximum. Now let us obtain the distances of minima and maxima from the central bright point. Now we have used the same experimental setup or same diagram in this. Point P is any point on the screen which is at distance y from the central bright point P0. And this point P is at angular position theta. So if we consider the triangle OP-P0, in this triangle, angle POP0 is theta and this theta is very small, as the distance capital D is very large compared to the slit width small a. Inclination of point P is very small. So theta is small, and if it is expressed in radians, then sine theta is approximately equal to tan theta, which is approximately equal to theta. And now if in this triangle POP0, if we take tan theta is nothing but opposite side upon adjacent side. Now opposite side is PP0, which we consider as the distance y, and the adjacent side is OP0, which is nothing but the distance capital D. So tan theta is equal to y upon D, but tan theta is approximately equal to theta, and therefore theta is equal to y upon capital D. Now when we consider nth dark point or nth minimum of diffraction pattern, then we write the angular position of nth minimum as theta n d. N is for nth dark and D is for dark point. So theta ND is equal to, from this equation, we get theta ND is equal to YND upon capital D, where YND is the distance of nth dark point from the central bright point. Now this theta ND is equal to YND upon capital D, but we have seen the condition for path difference for the dark points as A sine theta, the path difference should be equal to n lambda. Now here, if we take theta small, then sine theta is approximately equal to theta. So theta becomes equal to n lambda upon A. And therefore, theta ND is also written as n lambda by A. If we equate these two equations, YND by D is equal to n lambda by A, then we get the distance of nth dark point from the central bright point as YND is equal to n lambda capital D by small a. Here, lambda capital D by small a is written as W. So our equation becomes YND is equal to NW, where this W is lambda D by A, which is similar to fringe width in the interference pattern. Now let us consider nth maximum of the diffraction pattern or nth bright point of diffraction pattern. At this point, we consider the angular position theta, which is theta NB, angular position of nth bright point. That is equal to YNB upon D, where YNB is the distance of nth bright point from the central bright point. So theta NB is equal to YNB upon capital D. But we have seen the condition for path difference between the extreme rays for bright point as A sine theta is equal to n plus half into lambda. Again, as theta is small, we take A theta is equal to n plus half into lambda. And therefore, theta becomes equal to n plus half into lambda by A. So, we equate these two equations as YNB upon D is equal to n plus half into lambda by A. And from this, we get the distance of nth bright point as YNB is equal to n plus half lambda capital D by small a. This can be written as n plus half into W, where W is lambda D by A. So W is similar to fringe width in the interference pattern. So W is lambda D by A, which is similar to fringe width, but we have obtained the distances of nth dark and nth bright point on the screen. So the distance of nth dark point is n lambda D by A, and distance of nth bright point is n plus half into lambda D by A. So students, in this lecture, we have seen Fraunhofer diffraction and a location of maxima and minima of diffraction pattern on the screen. We will continue the same topic in our next lecture. Till then, thank you.